Hi there! So, a fun activity you could do at home with your child that encourages tongue movements for skills such as speaking, feeding, and general strengthening of the mouth is exercise with lollipops. This is a great activity because it's pretty adaptable to where you are and is easy to do at home. Also, the incentive of the lollipop creates a fun game because kids like candy. Um, so what you'll need for this activity is a lollipop of choice, a chair for the child to sit in, and a timer. The timer isn't something that you necessarily need, but it can be useful to, like set a time for how long they have to expose themselves to the lollipop or how long they have to touch it with their tongue for. Um, but it could be useful for just adaptable purposes. So for this activity, you can have multiple flavors to give the child a choice and variety. Personally, I'm just going to use one, but you could have them switch throughout. They're not going to be like necessarily eating the whole lollipop in one sitting. So like if you want to have them like switch between flavors throughout, that's totally fine. Um, Really, it's up to you and what your child would like to do. So before we begin, so step one, have your child unwrap the lollipop. Um, Once they have the lollipop unwrapped, have them touch it to their tongue 5 times without having their lips or their mouth touching the tongue. So it should look something like this. Like, you see there's space between my teeth and my tongue as well as my lips and my tongue. They're not touching. It's requiring a lot of extension of my tongue, which is good for muscle building. So it would be like, and like I didn't mean to move the lollipop. Like if they could not move the lollipop when they're doing that and move their head, neck, and chin forward to touch and their tongue to touch the lollipop, that'll be the best way for them to do this task. So the next activity they can do is kiss the lollipop 5 times. This works on those sucking and blowing muscles, which is really useful for talking, eating, just basic tasks that we do daily. So it would look something like this. And if they're not comfortable with, making that kissy face or they're being a little silly with it, that's okay. You could have them just practice kiss the air first, or maybe have them kiss your cheek if you're comfortable with that. Just something to get them to do that movement, or maybe even make duck lips. Like say that they're not kissing, but making a duck lip face so that they're willing to use those muscles. And then the next one, so you're going to take the lollipop and rub it on the corners of the child's mouth and have the child lick with their tongue. So it would look like you would rub right here, and have them lick the corners of their mouth to clean it off. That's that tongue lateralization, which is really useful for speaking, eating, just again, those activities that we do often and every day. So the next one is really similar. You would take the lollipop and rub around their mouth like this. And they would, like I just did, you'd rub around their mouth and they're going to use their tongue and not their lips, because you can go like this to get or to get flavor off. We want them to use their tongue to encourage that muscle movement. So see, I accidentally did the lip thing, but you want them to use their tongue to clean their lips. And then finally, there's a lot of room for play in this. They can do a lot of things with the lollipop. These are just some basic ideas that I came up with, but you can have them place the lollipop in their cheek and pass it to the other side. That can be a little difficult, considering it has a pretty big stick on it and it's a little awkward trying to move it. So if you're a little worried about choking or things like that, you could always hold on to the stick while they're pushing it to the other side, or you could use a candy like a Jolly Rancher, or just anything they can suck on to push, or really any food or candy item that they can push between their cheeks is really useful. That's that tongue lateralization skill again. So even though this exercise seems pretty silly and really playful in nature, the movements that are required to perform these tasks will allow for the child to explore tongue movements in a familiar manner that may translate to other activities such as talking. If the child does not like lollipops or would prefer a different treat, you can substitute peanut butter. That's a really good one because it gets stuck to the roof of your mouth and will require a lot of tongue movement to push that off. Um, you can also push it from side to side. You can rub it on their lips. You could do it with syrup, honey, even mashed potatoes. Like basically any food item that can like adhere or get stuck to your mouth that would require some effort to push. Um, so the goal here is really to get that tongue manipulation and movement. And this is also a great opportunity to expand out to other food items, explore other food items, different textures, and it can be really fun to talk about flavors that we're experiencing and just the overall mouthfeel of what is going on. So I hope you'll enjoy this activity and have fun with it.